I'm not trying to put too much sauce on this right now. What I'm really trying to do is get an idea of how you're doing, how you're making out during this crazy quarantine,
Yeah.
and to get a little bit of feedback from you. So, first of all, for people who are watching and anybody who doesn't know who you are, I'm now talking to the great and accomplished Stephen St. Pierre.
Stop.
He is a filmmaker, but more than that, he's a writer, he's a director, he is a producer, he's a self-starter, he's a guy that's going places. And in fact, his film Corey won Best Short award last year at Queen City Film Fest. And
Yes.
um, he's just an all-around super dope dude. And I wanted to bring him on to Quarantine Conversations to get a little bit of insight as to how he's doing during this time and what's going on in his world. Super creative dude. So let's go. Steve, what's good, man? How you feeling during this whole lockup?
Yeah. No, I mean, thanks for the introduction. And just with the actor as well. I can't forget that. That's where it started. That's where it started. Yeah. But yeah, during this time, I'm just really taking heed to what the governor and the mayor are saying about social distancing and quarantining myself. So I really am just doing my part in trying to stay away from people physically, and in turn, trying to still stay tapped in, kind of how we're doing right now, virtually.
Mm.
So that's how I'm trying to keep myself sane, by just kind of like still connecting with people, still have those like, getting that energy and that input creatively, spiritually, virtually, be able to still feed myself, feed my soul.
Yeah, no doubt. It's difficult when you're isolated. And I was just talking to Jamal Hodge a little while ago about
Yeah,
the isolation and how we can turn that into fuel for our creative processes. Are you finding yourself to be more creative right now? Are you working on a bunch of things? Are you finishing stuff? Tell me what you're doing to sort of cope with this thing.
yeah. Creatively, it is a little bit tough, because for me, my creativity comes a lot from inspiration and just like organic feel. So it's about being out in the world, talking to people, seeing things is where I get a lot of my just creativity from. So I'm more so like finishing things now, things that I've already started, trying to put finishing touches on it, revisiting things. And like I said, as an actor, just kind of really honing on the craft, working on a monologue, working on scenes, getting together with other creatives to get on Zoom chats and maybe just work out some scenes together and stay sharp on that, and jotting a lot of ideas down of when it comes that time to really get them down on paper and build them out. I'm ready to do that as well.
The thing that I think I really like about you is that you are an actor and you make no bones about it that I am an actor, I act, and I love how serious you take the craft of acting. But in that, you are driven to a higher space and place. You're almost forced to self create. And I've seen you do it several times over the course of the year that I've known you, where you will create these small vignettes that are really practice for your acting chops, but end up being these wonderful little vignettes and pieces that display your versatility as an artist. Can you talk to me about how you do that? Like I just saw this little piece you launched on Instagram with the gun and the car, and talk to me a little bit about that and how that plays into what you're doing, right now as a creator.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, because it started with acting, like that was like the first part of like the creative monster in myself that started to show itself. And I learned fairly quickly that you can't just, I hate to say just be an actor because that sounds like you're, kind of minimizing that being an actor, but like being an actor really is the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to the creation of just work, on film, TV, on web, or what have you. You're waiting for people to put you into opportunities. So I say it to say that kind of had to spark the other sides of like, okay, if I want to act, I don't necessarily have to wait around for people to put me in projects to audition. I can create. I can do it like create things myself. I can write a little story. I can get a camera, especially in this digital age. Like you have your phone has 4K ability on it now, and you just take those things, those tools, people around you who are trying to do the same thing you're doing and say, hey, listen, I got an idea. I got this story. I'll act in it. And you hold the camera. If you're trying to work using the camera, this person is trying to do lighting and get their, show their skills when it comes to putting image together. And let's just do something together. It's really sometimes people don't feel like they can do something, and a lot of people like to be led. Like that's just human nature. Like we always like direction and to be led and to be told like, hey, this is what you can do and go in this direction. When I look back on it, I've always been that leader from just being a kid playing basketball. I've always been the captain of the basketball team, leading everybody into doing it. So now I kind of started falling in love with directing and creating because now I feel like I'm a leader again. Like I can direct a team of people, whether it be one other person, to be like, hey, this is what we're going to do and create. So that's why you see those things come up like on Instagram. Like literally, I just had this idea. I had the prop gun. And I was like, I got this idea. Let's just shoot something right here, right now. Got my brother. He got his camera out. And we just made it happen. And I went back. And now I teach myself how to edit. So it's like you learn all the tools when you want to get something done because it just needs to get done. So, you don't put any kind of like limitations on yourself. You're like, someone learned how to do this thing. So I'm going to learn how to do this thing. And you just get it done.
Word. And I love that because I'm a self learner, self teacher. I teach myself a lot of things. But I learn and I pull from the people around me. With this isolation, do you feel like your creativity is really stunted, or do you feel like you're growing into like this new and improved version of yourself?
It's a little bit of both actually. Like it's stunted in a way where like to be able to get the things done. That's where the creativity is being stunted because I can't get around people to kind of do it. Like when I did the short trailer piece, I titled it Rosedale Kings because that's where I'm from, Rosedale, Queens. And my brother and everyone, they still live there. My mom, my family, my grandmother. So I went to go visit before like I really shut it down, being around people. And that's when we decided, I had this idea brewing and I was like, let's shoot it now, like before maybe I can't get somebody to do it with. So in that respect, the creativity is kind of being stifled because now I can't get around somebody to be like, when I have an idea, let's do this. So I am kind of just, getting it all down, just writing all these, I have like post-it notes all over the place full of just like different, literally, no, I really just jot down ideas. Like when it just come to me, I just jot them down and then I'll develop them, when the time comes. Because it really is organic. I'll write something down and then when the moment is ready for it, it just boom, there it is. Like, all right, let's do this. Like I got it. I have a hard time of like forcing things. That's why I guess, with the whole writer part of it where like you sit down for hours and write, that's not really my thing. I'm more of like an inspiration writer and idea, more of a storyteller. That's why I like to make sure that people understand like I do the acting and directing because it's like I think both of those are like the pinnacle of storytelling. The director and actor, like putting that, if you give me the writing or I can write it or whatever and I can bring the story to life. Like that's like I feel like my biggest strength. It's just storytelling. It's really getting the story out. And
Right.
and visually, to the audience.
Right on, right on. And do you feel like, talk a little bit about, because we met in a very social environment,
Mhm.
at a film festival, and I know that right now film festivals are sort of in jeopardy. Public
Yeah.
events in in general are in jeopardy of having to change the way that they operate.
hmm
Um, do you have any insight or personal feelings or thoughts about the industry moving forward and how things are going to be conducted? And do you have any, hopes, dreams, aspirations for what's next?
Yeah, I mean, with any situation, just that affects whether it be a city, a state, a country, or world, is a gift and a curse, right? Because things the way you thought and how you operated changes, but then new innovations are birthed out of those moments as well. So I try to always look at it that way, like, you know what, I've been doing something for however long I've been doing it, and I may just not know what present or gift will come of what's going to happen next. So that's why they always say live in the moment, because you can't go back in history, you can't predict the future. So I'm kind of just like in the moment now and seeing when the dust settles what will come of it. Now, to the point of the festivals, I still think it's important to have like that, like you said, that social interaction, meeting in person, connecting with people, looking them in the eye and really looking in their soul to see what kind of person they are. This is a person that you want to continue to have a relationship with, or if it'll be just a person that, you're cordial and have respect when you see them, you see them, which isn't a crime either, Not everybody's for everybody. I think that that part of it is important, to still have that social engagement and really connect with people. And then on the other side, what's been happening this past few days, I've been getting connected to people that I probably wouldn't have been able to get connected to if it wasn't for online. You know, a lot of people are doing Zoom meetings and going on Instagram Live with people and just bringing random people in. Like Dion Taylor is a renowned director. He just did Black and Blue movie with Tyrese. He has Fatal coming out with Michael Ealy and Louis Swank. He goes on Instagram Live every night and just like brings in his friends, brings in the industry. And as an emerging artist myself, now I'm getting to talk to these people. He brings just the random emerging people onto his Instagram Live to chat with him, and that would have never happened if this wasn't going on right now. It's allowing people to just kind of like bring themselves together socially virtually, and just allowing more opportunity for it. So, like I said, it's a gift and a curse. Everything has its pros and cons, and I think we'll just have a different outlook on connecting with people. I think a lot of people who are at a level will be looking at it. You know what? It's not so much to kind of just reach back and just give a little bit of information, just talk to somebody, even if I'm not in their presence and I don't know them personally yet. It doesn't take much to just go on the phone and talk to somebody for a couple minutes. So I think
Right.
that'll really bring just a new wave of confidence and artists and creativity, because people will have that much more to go after.
And it's funny because, well, first of all, I want to wish you a happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you.
You just celebrated your birthday with a virtual Zoom party, and I know
Hey,
that you had a room full of people, or better yet, a screen full of people
yeah,
participating. Some of our good friends like Jamal Hodge and Ruya
yeah.
Koman participated. Um, and I just thought it was a really novel idea. I kept getting updates from you leading up to it, and you really got me excited about the fact that we were going to do this. Um, and I was like, it's so weird that this is what it's come to, but I loved how you
Yeah.
embraced it nonetheless. And, to really be honest, you gave me the idea that this is something that we can do to
Yes.
bring this bridge even closer together, to have meaningful conversation with our friends and our co-workers, our co-artists and co-collaborators, and figure
Mhm.
out how to navigate the psychology of what's happening during this crisis, this pandemic,
Absolutely.
because I know that it affects and impacts us in different ways. Um, just in closing, is there any one thing that you want anybody who's watching this? And again, I'm just going to put this out. I'm not thinking that this is going to be, the next D-Nice party and 100,000 people. I'm really not anticipating that. I just want to be able to share um, personally what we're doing as as an organization. First of all, I'm a human
Mhm.
being, but as the organization, the Queen City Film Festival, I want to give people who have participated an opportunity to continue to express themselves and to get this thing out of them. I don't want any of my friends to go into a dark cloud because of what's happening. Is there anything that you can add to that, um, that you want to share that you think might help someone else out here?
Yeah, I mean, don't sell yourself short, Lamar. Be nice. I'm sure he didn't go on there thinking or knowing that was gonna come of it. He was
Right.
just expressing himself and doing what he loved, and that's what you're doing now. You just, from when I met you at Queen City, like your personality is so infectious. Like you're so energetic and genuine, and you just like love people and really just like love giving back to just people. Like I haven't known you your whole life, but I can only imagine the type of life you lived up to this point. That you always smiling, always happy, always trying to give. So honestly, like you know, it could be one of two things. You could have had a very hard life, or you could have
Yeah,
had a great life. Either
yeah.
way, it's brought you to who you are today. And that's what I would say to people is like, just do what you love. Just whatever your instincts are, whatever it is that you want to put out in the world, just do it. You never know how it's going to be received, and there'll always be an audience for it, no matter if you're getting 10 views or a million views. Everyone starts at zero. So don't let what people are doing deter you from what you need to do. Because if I would have told you 5 years ago when I started not knowing a thing, not a thing. I'm not one of those people who was in drama school and plays as a kid and did all this stuff. Like I knew nothing about the creative world of acting and directing and movie making. So I knew nothing 5 years ago, not a thing. And I just said, I'm just going to start today. I'm starting
Hmm.
from zero. And now, a few years later, I'm still not where I know I can be, but I'm much further along and done more than I've even imagined when I started day one. So I can only imagine the next 5 years where I'll be now. We'll be talking again, and I'll be like, "Hey, Lamar, like, guess what? Like, we talked 5 years ago. Look where we are now." So
Word,
that'll be my
word.
message. Don't let nothing stop you. Just, go for it. Go for it. Nobody really knows what they're doing, so just go for it. Whatever it is that you want to do.
Amen. I couldn't put a cap on this conversation any better than that. Stephen St. Pierre, thank you for joining us. And by the way, anybody wants to follow you, how can they follow you?
Yeah, I'm on all platforms at I Stephen St. Pierre because someone stole my name, so I had to put the letter I in front of my name. So it's I Stephen St. Pierre on Instagram, Facebook, my website. Yeah, tap in with me, send me a DM. Just hit me up. You got questions, whatever. If I can help guide you in the direction, I'm all for it.
For sure, for sure. And as usual, Stephen St. Pierre, thank you so much. Y'all got to check out his short film, Corey. It is dope, dope, dope. And it really impacted us at the festival last year. Um, and we loved it. We really did. And yeah, I'm Lamar Mackson, Nonstop Show Group, Queen City Film Festival, NJ. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at both of those addresses. And just keep living your best life and uplifting others around you. This has been another episode of Quarantine Conversations. I think this is like episode 6, but I've stopped counting. So keep doing your thing, people. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Lamar. Thanks, everybody. Peace.